Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, it is the most exciting time in the barndominium here. That is if you like framing. We're doing framing. Welcome to Man Time. So this is a pretty big deal. If you're doing a barndominium and you've got your metal building built and you're to the point where you're about to start framing, it is a pretty exciting time. My case, it's a little bit different. I need to still do the spray foam insulation, but since I'm going to have separate kind of quadrants of the building, I want to have the framing up and have one sheet of sheetrock on the frame, on the walls, and that way they can do the spray foam insulation inside of there to kind of wall off each different section. I'm going to have two different parts of the living space. Both are going to be 1,500 square feet, and I'm going to have two separate 3-ton or 3.5 ton HVAC units, AC unit, heat pump sort of situation. And a wall, in between, and then, of course, the ceiling. Let's take a walk around inside, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Some of the parts that are going to be a little bit tricky to frame up and fully isolate one side from the other, with all the metal work that I had to do in there building the mezzanine. So let's go check it out. All right, so here is all of the 10-foot pieces of, this is going to be fir. It's actually white fir. So it's not the grand fir or red fir or whatever. White fir seems to be kind of the common one. Got my Hitachi 10-inch circular saw set up here, and let's go in and show you some of the stuff that I've been working on inside of here. Now, if you remember, the last time I was putting up this subflooring on the ceiling here, and I have got this all done. All of the wood that I bought, I've got it done here, at least to the halfway point. I didn't actually buy enough, to get beyond the halfway point at this point. But so what I need to do is build walls down this center line here, right? And I'm going to have another little wall up in this little junction here, and the scraps that I'm going to cut off, from here, I can use up in here to fill that space there. Because I've got 10-foot pieces, 10-foot with a 2x4 on top and bottom, reaches all the way flush with the purling there. So I'll have plenty, to make a little wall section for in there. The trickiest part is going to be right here where I've got, my I-beam or W-beam coming up against the purling. I need to build sections of wall to go in here, and then of course down here. And here is the aftermath of doing this, subflooring ceiling portion here, which is now going to get sprayed over with a coat of spray foam. But it looks really good for now. I should have actually put this finished side facing up. I was just thinking, why not put the finished side facing down, so at least it looks good for now. And I could even, decide to blow in insulation up top if I wanted to. But yeah, I had to end up cutting off some sections, and against all of the made-up junctions, I used Loctite PL3X premium, and that is a adhesive, metal to wood, wood to metal, so on and so forth. And that's, where all these pieces met up at a purling. I use that to secure those junctions. But yeah, everything turned out really good here. I'm really happy with it. Really happy with the way that it feels walking around up there. But the deal is I'm getting walls in between here, and then I'm going to run walls here, and then here, and have the spray foam done from the inside out. I'm going to have the sheathing on this wall on the outside, sheathing on this wall on the outside. I'm going to use wood on this side here because I'm envisioning on this side, if I'm in my shop here, using this as a kind of tool wall and behind a bench. So basically having a bench here, wall, wood, and having tools hanging from that. But that is the plan. I'm going to have walls going down through here, walls going this way, and walls going this way to complete the project. And you can see here how a 10-foot piece of lumber sits against those purlins when you've got a 2x4 on top, and of course a 2x4 on the bottom. Your sill 2x4s. But yeah, utility room is coming along. I didn't do the back of it here yet, but we have got the panels installed, and then I've also got my water heater and water distribution block sitting right on top of there as well. And that's going to be all held in this utility room here. I'm going to have this fully walled off, and I may have it open to the inside, similar to what you see there, just so it stays warm, and then insulate this as well, cover the top of it there, and have a door, so it's like sealed off and receiving some heat from the living space here. So let's go through how I'm going to set up and mark, and then also the plan to attach wood to metal. Okay, so the first thing I've done here, I've got a plumb bob hanging off this side of the piece of W-beam that's running across there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark right underneath of it where it is landing up above. So right there. And the reason why it's off a little bit this way, when we were setting the big 12-inch W-beams on the top there, it was butted up against the purling on that side of the building, and so we kind of moved this piece of W-beam over to be centered underneath of it. Now this is not true 90 degrees up and down. So yeah, it looks like it's coming like right in here, and then this is going to move into it as it goes up the wall there, which stinks. I mean, I can frame it in, and I will probably do that to hide the mistake. And then from here, so I've got my straight line right via plumb bob. I'm going to want to come in from that a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put this up against there and draw a line at 1/2 inch, and that is going to account for the 1/2 inch drywall that I'm going to be putting on and sheeting it with. So got the ladder, got the plumb bob. I'm just going to work my way down. I'm going to put one mark on either side of the uprights going down this line. Yeah, one of the trickiest parts about this is just getting the plumb bob stopped from moving. And it's just little slight grabs, and oh, I screwed that one up. Yeah, until it's completely stopped moving. All right. Well, that was a full day. Getting everything measured up, getting the spots measured on the ground with that plumb bob, where they're going to line up perfectly, and then offset it for the thickness of the drywall. Got all of the upright studs cut, and first thing, and some tips and tricks for doing this. One is that first piece is your test piece, right? So take that first piece, put it where you're going to be putting it with a 2x4 underneath of it and a 2x4 on top of it. And that was the first step. Making sure that you had your measurements right the first time, right? And then I also made marks on the tape measure. So it wasn't like measuring out to the 102 5/8. I could just quickly see 102, and then the mark I made, you know, where 5/8 was, and then make my marks, take the speed square, line it up 90, and then quickly go to the circular saw and cut. It worked out pretty good, and now I am ready to, oh, and all of the cutoffs there is going to make the 12-inch piece of wall that I need above that 6-inch piece of W-beam. So, pretty good day overall. Stay tuned for the next episode where I'm going to show you how to attach the wood to the metal. The plan is there to plasma cut out some little pieces of steel. Well, I'll show you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to check that out. Thumbs up if you like this type of stuff. But whatever you do, get out there, have you some man time too.